All right, thank you everyone for joining me on yet another live stream here on the Foods for Health channel. Coach Nate here. Very important topic here on Wednesday, November the 23rd, just starting right after 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know we were changing the times just a little bit, but here's the thing. When you're running a business, when you have a couple other obligations, sometimes the times need to change just a little bit. And I thought I had a little bit of extra time here, so I thought I'd hop in, talk a little bit about weight loss, talk a little bit especially about exercise, because that's something that I really wanted to follow up with you guys. Make sure that we're hitting our goals. That was the big thing that we've been talking about all the way since September now, even at the end of August. So welcome again. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here live on a Wednesday, early afternoon, nice sunny day here. A little bit warm, I got to be honest, for Canada this time of the year. Nice and warm. All right, definitely above seasonal average here. So beautiful day. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you're listening from. As always, let me know where you're listening from and how you're doing. Say hi in the chat, please. Now again, we're going to talk a little bit about weight loss. I want to make this a little bit of an accountability. It's always nice to have an accountability team. Even someone who works in the health field, who's a nutritionist. I have an accountability team. I go to the gym with 2 other people quite regularly, and we try to keep ourselves accountable together. And that way, if it's like the tide rises all sinking boats, however that metaphor goes. I know I messed it up, but if one person doesn't feel like going, you got 2 other people there to bring you up and get you there to the gym. All right, same thing can happen with diet. I have clients. I just had a client text me, all right, a little bit earlier this morning, talking about diet, trying to fight the urge for, early morning cravings. They can happen in the morning. They can happen at nighttime. It's very, very common. So it's nice to have a little bit of accountability, and I'd like to make this a little bit of an accountability stream to make sure that you guys are trying your best, trying your best to reach your goals. As always, and as I tell my clients, all we can do is try our best. There is no perfect, all right? But we do have to try. That's the thing as well, all right? We can let it slide just a little bit, but if we're not trying, guys, we need to make sure that maybe we step our game up just a little bit, whether that means being a little bit more active, whether that means focusing on our diet just a little bit more. Maybe, if that requires hiring some help, all right? We got to make sure that we start, because so many people get caught up in that pre-contemplation stage or the contemplation stage. They have all of the good intentions to start with their weight loss journey, but they never actually begin, all right? They never actually start. And if you don't start, you never give yourself an opportunity to succeed. And we always want success. Now, again, like I said, say hi in chat here, guys. Let me know. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I see we're already almost at 10 thumbs up here. I know we're starting a little bit earlier. I wasn't able to give you guys a ton of notice for the beginning of today's stream. So thank you so much for everyone who is coming in. I know this will be up a little bit later, but thank you so much for coming in here live. Now let's just talk a little bit about weight loss. Let me know how it's going for you guys if you are trying to focus a little bit on weight loss. But the other thing that I want to make sure that we're talking about today, yes, weight loss is the goal. If you have any questions with weight loss, go ahead and ask the questions, guys. This is your time. All right, it's a Q&A, but I want to make sure that we're also focusing on the health benefits of exercise as well. Okay, yes, the scale, and sometimes the scale can become our worst enemy. All right, I have so many people that I discuss this with on a day-to-day basis. All right, my clients, are weighing in, or almost all of them, not all of them. All right, a lot of people don't always have a weight loss goal. They have other goals that they want to achieve. Some of it is to gain weight, to be honest. But if you're trying to lose weight and it's not working for you, we have to come up with a game plan, right, and see why that is. There's maybe something that we need to change, whether that be diet-wise, again, whether that be more movement. All right, again, if you're an adult, we're trying to get 150 minutes in per week. I think that's very achievable. All right, if you're starting from 0, yes, it might be a little bit tough, but I think that's very achievable. One other goal that I would like to throw out there for you guys. we've talked a little bit about the 150 minutes per week. I've been reading some interesting studies on steps per day. How many steps per day we should be aiming for to not only lose weight, all right, but also just improve our overall health. All right, now, again, before it was about 10,000 steps per day, but we're seeing, all right, that number coming down just slightly. 6,000 to 8,000 steps can give you a huge advantage in reducing chronic diseases like heart disease, like diabetes, all right, especially type 2 diabetes, so blood sugar levels, all right. 2,000 steps after each meal in and around. That's what they were doing in these studies, and they saw huge dramatic changes. So exercise is a huge one, guys. Exercise is a huge one. So if you have any questions on exercise, go ahead and ask those questions as well. I know it can be a little bit daunting starting a quote-unquote exercise routine, right? But all we want to do is just improve movement, and that can be anything. It can be going for a walk, it can be going for a hike, it can be riding your bike, it can be swimming, it can be yoga. Whatever it is, as long as we're moving. All right, we want to be making sure that we're getting that heart rate up just a little bit. Anything from, low intensity to moderate intensity, I think is just fine to get started. So if you have any questions with that, go ahead and ask those questions, guys. If we can get one person in chat to say hi and let me know that you can hear me, that would also be very, very appreciated. Thank you so much, guys. I see you guys coming in here, so thank you so much. Like I said, I know I wasn't able to give you much notice before we started, but I had an open hour here, so I thought I'd get on and answer some of your questions that you might be asking. But it's so funny because a lot of the times our next discussion is going to be on respiratory infection, respiratory health, right? A lot of the times I find that when it comes to Q&A on weight loss, on exercise, hey Zaid, thank you so much. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you so much for saying hi. I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. But when it comes to weight loss and exercise, I always find people are more hesitant on bringing up certain topics. Right? Even if you aren't trying to lose weight, right? Even if you're trying to maintain weight, if you're trying to, reach a healthy weight, a healthy BMR or BMI, right? Sometimes we're a little bit less, or at least I find in the chat, right? People are a little bit more reluctant to ask questions. But again, there's no judgment here. Feel free to ask your questions, and especially when it comes to exercise. If there's one thing that I've noticed after doing this for numerous years, this year is my 20th year of working out myself, right? My 20th anniversary. And, that doesn't count just going to the gym and, not knowing what you're doing, just going from machine to machine without any plan. 20 years of having a planned out routine, kind of having it well-researched, well-thought-out routine, knowing what I'm going to do before I go to the gym. 20 years this year, so a little bit of a background in that. But when it comes to exercise, it's tough getting started. So if you have questions, I've been there before. A lot of my clients have been there before. Go ahead and ask those questions, guys. How do we get started? What's a good routine for us to get started with? If we're shooting for 150 minutes per day, what might be the best frequency? How might we want to split that up? Okay, so don't be afraid to ask those questions, guys. Now, in the title, we see, right, weight loss Q&A, yes, but 5x your health with exercise. All right, so 5x your health. Very, very important when it comes to exercise. There is so many benefits to our overall health that we can achieve by exercising. And that's awesome, Zaid, listening all the way from Ethiopia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Great to have you here. Hello all the way from Ethiopia. Like I said, great to have you, Zaid. Thank you so much. But so many benefits, guys, when it comes to exercising, and it's very underrated on this channel, even if you look at the information the last 2 days that we went over. All right, so I put a video up on cinnamon tea. I also put a video up on sweet potatoes today. So a lot of diet and nutrition information is going up on the channel, and that's mostly what's been going up. Yes, vitamin deficiencies, yes, nutrient deficiencies. how to improve liver health, things like that. But we don't get a ton into exercise. So I thought today might be a nice discussion on exercise and its top health benefits as well. All right, a lot of the times, again, we think of exercise, all right, and it's very tough to get started. All right, it's very tough to get started, but we really need to. All right, we really want to try to hit that 150 minutes per week. Just in those individuals, comment down below if you're not here live and you're listening to this later, or comment now here in chat if you are hitting 150 minutes of exercise per week, because it is very tough for most individuals. We're focusing on diet, but we aren't focusing enough on exercise. Okay, so numerous studies, and a very, very important study that just came out, right, looking at quitting smoking. So people who were smoking a pack to 2 packs of cigarettes per day, people who were only getting 4 hours of sleep, looking at alcoholics, taking all those away. We were seeing that people who were engaging in those behaviors, all right, and this is looking at all-cause mortality rates. All right, so all-cause mortality rates, all right, that's kind of what our what we were gauging this off of. So 5xing, you'll hear me say 3x a little bit. But looking at these studies, by going from a smoker to a non-smoker, you're 3xing, all right, 3xing your overall health. By getting enough sleep per night, so going from like 3 to 8 hours, 3xing. All right, if you're an alcoholic, drinking 10 to 12 drinks per day, all right, or at least 5 times per week, again, it was 3xing your health. But the one thing, all right, that was even more than that, the biggest increase in your overall health and reducing all-cause mortality, all right, again, I'll say that again, reducing all-cause mortality rates, all right, and 5xing that was exercising regularly. All right, exercising regularly, guys. Having good cardiovascular health. All right, good cardiovascular health, and it only makes sense. Right? With that comes a healthier weight. With that comes a stronger heart. We know that heart disease is the leading number one preventable death in the world today, and those numbers are only going up. We know that diabetes and metabolic syndrome are going up today. So exercise, right, is one of the best things that we can do for our body. And again, let me know in chat, let me know in the comments below if you are hitting 150 minutes of exercise per day, because that is your starting point. If you want to get healthier, the thing that we need to do is get that 150 minutes. Start there, guys. And there's so many things that you can do. I mean, there's so many things I do with my clients. We're in the gym. We're doing cardiovascular exercises, we're doing body weight, we're doing strength training, we're doing swimming, we're doing boxing. So many things that I do. There's so many fun things that you can do. Even stretching with some of my clients, all right? Stretching, yoga poses, things like that. But so many things that we can do. You can find something that you like. I know you can. It can be anything from swimming to riding a bike, going for a hike. So many things that we can do to get that 150 minutes. But 5xing our health, all right, reducing all-cause mortality rates, all right, and that is exercise, guys. Now, again, of course, weight loss is very, very important in that. But exercise, one of the top things that we can do, all right, for maintaining a healthy weight or through weight loss is exercise, all right. Studies show, all right, there's numerous studies that show inactivity is a major factor and probably one of the most significant factors in both weight gain and obesity. So, all right, remaining obese and in gaining weight, all right, and there's numerous studies out there. One study that I kind of like, all right, off the top of my head, I think I wrote it down here, the effects of weekly exercise time and VO2 max and resting metabolic rate in normal adults, right? That's a great one, right? That's a great journal article right there, all right, especially for weight loss. All right, another really important one coming from Nutrients, the journal Nutrients, which I'd mentioned a little bit in streams and in videos before. All right, physical activity, cardiorespiratory fitness, and metabolic syndrome. All right, another really important journal article if you guys are interested in any of those. So we see through the literature out there, we see in a number of different studies that yes, if we can talk about weight loss all we want, but one of the best things that we can do to achieve weight loss, of course, is diet. But again, one of the other important things that we can do goes hand in hand with it is exercise. All right, exercising a number of different ways. I kind of have the feeling that exercise has gotten a bad rap over the last couple of years, especially with older adults, especially with our whole social media boom that we see right now. By the way, thank you so much for hitting the thumbs up, guys. One of the most important ways to support the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But it's kind of gotten a bad rap, right? And I'm not sure why, to be honest with you, when it comes to exercises or exercising. More people following a certain diet, thinking they only have to follow a certain diet, whether that be keto, whether that be a mixture of keto and intermittent fasting, whether that be a carnivore diet, whether that be OMAD, so 1 meal a day, OMAD, thinking that they can achieve the weight loss results, all right, which they want. And of course they can. You can achieve that on any diet, but neglecting the exercise part of it and all the health benefits that come with exercise. All right, because yes, all right, with those diets, you can achieve weight loss, and weight loss is great for our overall health. All right, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with weight loss, but if we're trying to improve our overall health, a combination of both diet and weight loss, all right, and exercise is two of the best things that we can do. Like, let's look at some of the top benefits, all right, that you can get from exercising. All right, one, if you're lethargic, if you're feeling tired, all right, one of the best things that exercise can do, if you're not overtraining, right? But if you're feeling fatigued, and this is where having a trainer or someone to kind of help you begin, all right, and even create a program for you, all right, so that you're not overtraining, all right, because it can go the opposite way as well. If you're overtraining, you're just going to make yourself feel more fatigued. You're going to decrease energy levels, right? You're going to increase cortisol in the body. But exercise, all right, can help. It can be a natural, all right, and real energy booster for individuals. That's why I like working out in the morning, all right? Even for those with medical conditions, all right? Certain medical conditions where their energy is zapped, and that can be even lower back pain. We see numerous studies where individuals who are dealing with pain, right, who have energy levels decrease, fibromyalgia, all right, chronic fatigue, all of those certain things. COPD, of course, all right, lower energy levels, diabetes, being obese, all of those certain things are going to lower our energy levels, guys. So we see, one, exercise can increase energy levels. All right, very simply, all right, it's great for our heart and for our lungs. All right, that's one of the great benefits, especially for the heart, because let's not forget, like I already mentioned earlier, one of the leading causes, the leading cause of preventable death in the world right now, all around the world, is heart disease. All right, cardiovascular disease, whether that be high cholesterol, high blood pressure, right, stroke, all of those different things which come with cardiovascular disease, all right, atherosclerosis, LDL oxidation, you guys get the point. All right, we know that aerobic exercise, all right, boosts cardiovascular system and improves lung health as well, all right, which can significantly increase energy levels. All right, now a lot of times you'll hear about aerobic exercise, so that's cardiovascular. So cardiovascular, when you hear me say aerobic, all right, a lot of times that's like you're walking, you're running, you're swimming, all right, so your cardio. There's also anaerobic, which is your resistance training, like lifting weights, things of that nature. That's also going to give you an energy boost as well. A lot of the times they'll only look at the aerobic exercise, but do a really bad job, in my opinion, of looking at the anaerobic. I can give you a circuit, all right, that you can do, which takes maybe 2 or 3, maybe 3 strength exercises, all right, and trust me, you're going to get your heart rate up, all right, where your heart rate's up and you're gaining strength at the same time. All right, so a lot of times they'll focus just on aerobic, like running, right? So running for 150 minutes per week. But trust me, a combination of aerobic and anaerobic is also going to improve energy levels as well, and also give you good body composition changes. So lose weight, burn fat, put on a little bit more muscle. Who doesn't want to have that? All right, and don't forget, as we get older, all right, we lose about 1% of muscle per year. All right, so we want to make sure that we're maintaining that muscle mass. So we know it can increase energy levels. The other thing with exercise, numerous studies, all right, tens of studies that I found out there, all right, really, really important, can reduce the risk of chronic disease. One of the big ones here, we already know heart health. All right, we already know heart, cardiovascular disease. So that can be anything from, one, just reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease, reducing high cholesterol. All right, so reducing LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol, increasing good HDL cholesterol, reducing hypertension. Those are all huge ones. But we also know that it can improve insulin sensitivity. Huge. All right. Body composition, which is really good for blood pressure and cholesterol levels. But we also know it can reduce type 2 diabetes, both aerobic and anaerobic. I know a lot of the times you'll see aerobic exercise in the studies, but don't underestimate anaerobic, lifting weights, all right, putting on lean body mass, all right, so lean muscle mass. Very, very good for, one, insulin resistance and glycemic control, all right, very, very important. So reducing the risk of chronic disease. There's also some good, and Zaid, I'll get to your question here in a second, all right? Great question. Thank you guys for the 15 thumbs up. Appreciate it. Just feel like I'm on a roll here. Sometimes I can get a little bit energized by talking about all the benefits of exercise, and especially with chronic disease, all right? But we also know it can reduce the risk, all right? The risk, it doesn't mean that you won't get it if you exercise, but it can reduce the risk of several different types of cancer, all right? Some of the ones that I've seen that are prevalent in the literature, all right? Breast cancer, kidney cancer, lung cancer, liver, thyroid, prostate, pancreatic cancer, ovarian cancer off the top of my head. Those are some of the more prevalent ones. So who doesn't want to reduce the risks of that? All right, just by exercising, getting your 150 minutes of, all right, low to moderate, all right, and even intense exercise, all right, reducing the risk of those chronic diseases. All right, unbelievable. All right, so very, very significant. All right, again, a lot of long-term benefits. All right, especially of reducing belly fat. All right, so Zaid, how can I lose weight? I think that's a question. I love that you asked that question, Zaid, because I believe that's a question that a lot of people have. All right, how can I start? But just by losing weight. Well, you're going to want to make sure you're watching what you eat. One, we have to focus on diet. Right, we can't forget about thermodynamics. All right, now I know a lot of people will look at and talk about thyroid issues and things of that nature. All right, but even still, we have to look at, the law of thermodynamics. All right, so calories in versus calories out. If you're eating a surplus of calories, you are most likely, all right, very likely, all right, unless you have some sort of health condition, which you need to talk to your medical practitioner about. If you're eating a surplus of calories, you're going to be gaining weight. If you're eating at maintenance level, all right, then if you're eating at maintenance, you're going to stay the same. To lose weight, you have to be in a deficit of calories. And then, so how do we know that we're in a deficit? This is where I like to come in. Coach Nate comes in. All right, we figure out, all right, how many calories do you need to be eating per day, all right, in order to lose weight? So we look at your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. All right, we figure out your total daily energy expenditure. Sometimes you might hear that referred to as TDEE. So your your total daily energy expenditure. All right, that's looking at your physical activity levels, and we figure out what your calorie level is. All right, and then let's say it's 3,000. All right, you're very active. All right, you're anywhere from 250 to 280 pounds. Let's say it's just 3,000 calories. If you want to lose 1 pound a week, you have to be in a deficit of 500 calories per day, because to lose 1 pound, you have to be in a deficit of 3,500 calories. All right. So I know it can be a little bit confusing. I know it can be a little bit challenging, but that's why exercise plays an important role as well. The more you move, the more calories you're going to burn. Because I hear it all the time, and I'll get messages from people, right? So so it's like, well, Coach Nate, you're telling me I have to eat 500 calories less every day than I'm usually eating. All right, I feel hungry already. All right, well, the easy answer is yes, you do. You have to be in that deficit, right? But you can also add exercise to the equation as well, and you can be burning more calories. If you're burning more calories, that's only going to help you get into the calorie deficit. So as long as we're not overtraining. Zaid, I love exercise, but I have pain in my knee. All right. Now, that's, again, something that you might want to speak with your medical practitioner about, Zaid. You know, what exactly is going on with your knee? I would say find exercise that's not going to be causing more knee pain. All right. If you're exacerbating knee pain, right, it's only going to keep you out of the, I would say out of the gym, but stopping you from doing other activities like running. You don't have to be in a gym to do that. Like hiking, things of that nature. If you can swim, maybe biking, things along that nature as well. All right. Finding something that can help, all right, take a little bit of that pain away in the knee. Sometimes, right, individuals that come in and see me who have knee pain, a lot of the times it's connected to something else. Maybe they have a weaker lower back. All right. So a weak lower back and back pain is causing trouble in the knee. Sometimes not always. You might have a specific issue with the knee. Sometimes it might be weak hamstrings. You have to strengthen your hamstrings. I'd say the best answer and easiest answer, though, is find some sort of exercise that isn't going to exacerbate knee pain, all right, or make it worse. And as you're doing that, you want to rehabilitate the knee as well. Find out what is wrong with it, all right. As you're doing your exercise, that's not making it worse on the knee, all right, something that's safe for the knee. All right, you want to be making sure you're rehabilitating, whether that's stretches, doing certain exercises, or strengthening around the knee. All right. A lot of people underestimate strengthening around the knee, guys. Hamstrings is a big one. All right. Quads can be another one. All right. Can even do calves. All right. Just got to be careful with that. Make sure you speak with your medical practitioner, depending on what's causing the knee pain. All right. So that would be my answer, Zaid. Okay. But yes, huge benefits when it comes to reducing the risk of chronic disease, guys. So many things that's important for reducing it, especially when it comes to diabetes, heart health, cancer. I mean, some of the biggest, and most, common, unfortunately, even insulin sensitivity, common chronic diseases out there, and some of the more dangerous ones as well. So we need to make sure that we're trying to limit that as best we can, and we can do that through exercise. And that's numerous studies, guys, tens of studies that I have printed out on that. Now, what's some more benefits? Because there's tons of them. And again, go ahead and ask your questions, guys. I know we've had quite a few people in here already, and I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys are in here. I know, like I said, I didn't give you much notification to be able to get on here, but I had just a couple free minutes. I thought, why not pop on, have a little discussion. Hopefully, this is going to go up a little bit later. Everyone can listen to it a little bit later as well. But if you have questions, make sure to ask them. All right. I love talking about this topic. And I think it's going to be only helpful for you guys in achieving your health goals. All right. Whether it's weight loss or just improving your overall health, improving your health goals. All right. Weight loss is one of them. Of course, weight loss is going to improve your health. But again, we see, all right, just through this discussion, how exercise can help you achieve a healthier mind and a healthier body. All right, so energy levels increase, decrease chronic disease. All right, another one is increase brain health and memory. All right, brain function. Exercise, all right, can actually help to improve brain function, guys. All right, it's going to improve memory. All right, what people always ask me, well, why do I feel good during exercise? All right, and I guess one of the more common questions is, well, how can exercise actually improve brain health and memory? Well, one of the interesting studies that we see out there is by increasing heart rate, whether that's aerobic or anaerobic. You're going to do it more by aerobic, obviously, all right? At least burn more calories often, all right? Depending on the type of your intensity levels for the aerobic exercise, all right? But by increasing your heart rate, whether aerobic or anaerobic, all right, you're going to get it up there, all right? It's going to promote blood flow and oxygen to the brain, which is huge. If you're living a sedentary lifestyle, circulation is decreased. All right, if you're living an active, all right, healthy lifestyle, blood flow and oxygen, all right, is going to be increased, which is great. All right, because your heart rate's going up, it's going to increase blood and oxygen flow to the brain. By doing that, all right, you're increasing, so stimulating the production of hormones that enhance the growth of brain cells. How unbelievable is that? All right, so brain function can increase through the process of increasing our heart rate by increasing and promoting the flow of blood and oxygen to the brain. All right, love that. Huge one. People always ask me, well, how really does exercise improve brain function? Right? People who are trying to stay away from Alzheimer's disease and dementia, a lot of the times, yes, we'll talk about what types of foods to eat. So, we've had discussions on this: blueberries, curcumin, omega-3 fatty acids, walnuts, healthy fats, monounsaturated, so avocados, vegetables, but exercise is a huge one as well. If we add exercise to that, then we're getting that, 2-for-1 deal. All right. We want to make sure, all right, not only are we getting those foods, those antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that are going to reduce free radicals and oxidative stress. Of course, that's going to, cause damage to the brain. All right. Maybe lead to a buildup of proteins and plaques and the amyloid plaques in the brain, which could lead to Alzheimer's disease, at least increase the risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. But we also want to make sure that we're exercising as well. Okay, we see just in the studies here, the studies show regular exercise, all right, is especially important in older adults or aging individuals. All right, that's what it says in the studies. I think it's important for everyone. All right, again, because of a reduction of oxidative stress and inflammation, but it's going to promote changes in brain structure and function. All right, promote the growth of brain cells. All right, so improving brain health altogether. Okay, so make sure, if we want to, again, if I get questions all the time, and especially now, and it was just in the news, we just saw, I don't know if you guys, any Marvel fans out there, but I think it's Chris Hemsworth, I apologize. All right, Chris Hemsworth, just found that out that he was 10 times or 8 to 10 times more at risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Diet's going to be very, very important. All right, I get a lot of questions on things that we can do to control or at least reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Yes, diet is super important. Yes, sleep is super important as well. Let's not forget sleep, but exercise is very, very important as well. We've seen in numerous studies, all right, exercise has been shown to reduce changes in the brain that can contribute to conditions like Alzheimer's disease and dementia. All right, really, really good study. All right. I think it was found in, off the top of my head, I can't really remember. I'm trying to remember the name of the journal. Anyway, that's not important. The name of the article, though, Resilience to Alzheimer's Disease, the Role of Physical Activity. All right. Really, really interesting study. Showed how physical activity, all right, could contribute, all right, and reduce changes in the brain and can, exercise was shown to reduce changes in the brain that can contribute to conditions like Alzheimer's disease and dementia. And again, that journal article is Resilience to Alzheimer's Disease. Talks a little bit about dementia in there as well. The role of physical activity. All right, so we're finding these natural, all right, ways that we can help prevent Alzheimer's disease and dementia. And we see that exercise, physical activity is one of those ways. Sleep is important. Living a healthy lifestyle, so not smoking, drinking alcohol, limiting those. Also, making sure we're eating a healthy diet and making sure that we're not obese, all right? Making sure that we're at a healthy weight. Awesome for reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease, guys, and dementia. Now, thank you so much for the 16 thumbs up, guys. I appreciate it. Let me know in chat where you're listening from. Zaid has already let me know from Ethiopia. That is awesome, Zaid. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. But of course, that brain health with exercise and memory, all right? So improving memory skills and thinking skills as well in aging adults, but also in younger individuals as well. It can improve, let's just sum it up in one sentence. Exercise can improve brain function, all right? It can protect memory and thinking skills and reduce Alzheimer's disease and dementia risk, okay? So we know, all right, that exercise is very, very important for our brain health. Okay, so here's another one that I really like with exercise, all right? Yes, it can control weight, all right? Another thing when it comes to, certain health conditions, yes, we already talked a little bit about heart health. Yes, we talked a little bit about stroke, metabolic syndrome, diabetes. We also know that it can help to enhance mood. So if you're dealing, and that's mood and anxiety, things like that are off the charts these days. We see more and more individuals dealing, with mental illness, especially coming out of COVID. Especially coming out of COVID, we see more and more. All right, see numerous studies on that. We could have a whole discussion on this topic. But we see that it can be helpful in preventing and managing health issues like depression and anxiety. Now, again, you're going to want to speak with your medical practitioner because, depression and anxiety, very, very complicated mental health issues. All right, for me, just to say, go out and exercise, all right, and then you'll never feel depressed and you'll never feel anxious or stressed again, all right. There's probably more going on than that, but we do know that exercise can be a major part and play a factor in improving mood, decreasing feelings of depression, anxiety, and stress. Okay, I found a really good study, all right, effects of single bouts of walking, exercise, and yoga on acute mood symptoms in people with multiple sclerosis. That's one of them, but just effects, all right, of exercise on individuals with mood symptoms, all right, acute mood symptoms, all right, and even chronic, all right. There's been many studies done in this category. Said, I was hurt in the gym. Okay, so you're doing a certain exercise. Was it a leg day? Was it a leg exercise, Zaid? So if you're hurt in the gym, just be careful with it. Maybe stick to upper body for a little while. I've hurt my hamstring, and then I had to, stick to upper body for a little bit, and I hurt it pretty bad. A partial tear of my hamstring, and basically just worked my other leg, worked my upper body, and I was good to go. But yeah, it's never fun when you're hurt in the gym. Never fun when you're hurt in general or feeling pain in general. And again, the common one, which you guys have probably heard, all right, exercise can increase the production of endorphins, all right, which endorphins, all right, people always ask me, well, what are endorphins? Well, and what do they do? Well, they're known to help produce positive feelings and also reduce the perception of pain, all right, so it's like a feel-good. So increasing endorphins, all right, helps positive feelings and also to feel better, all right, again, it can reduce pain. We see one of the, health conditions that it can end diseases that it can help relieve symptoms of is arthritis. So a lot of times people will think, well, I'm dealing with arthritis, I'm dealing with, sore hands and things like that. I can't work out. I think the best thing is try to work out as best you can, or, do the exercises that you can, and you're going to get the benefits, all right, from those injuries, from those painful conditions. It's all it is finding what works for you. All right, I know not everything like doing weights and lifting weights is for everyone. Find what you like. I think a little bit of resistance training is important. I'll be honest. I think that it really is. like I said, you lose muscle mass 1% after 35 in and about for both men and women. So once you reach 35 years old, on average, you're losing about 1% of muscle mass each year. Okay, so over 30 years, that's quite a bit of muscle that you're losing. After 10 years, that's quite a bit of muscle mass that you're losing. So you want to be doing a little bit of resistance training, nothing super intense, just doing it to stimulate some muscle growth, or at least to promote hypertrophy, or at the very least, even more, all right, to negate atrophy of muscle loss. So to stop muscle loss. Okay, and again, it can be with bands, it can be body weight exercises. You don't have to go grab dumbbells or barbells or anything like that. Get on machines. You can do it through a number of different means. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. I appreciate it. If you can smash that like button, always appreciated. We're at 16 likes. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Hope you're getting something out of this discussion. Just how important, yes, weight loss, all right, very important. We want to make sure that we're staying at a healthy weight, but making sure that we're exercising as well. We already discussed the topic of 5xing your health, of all mortality rates, all right? All mortality rate, all-cause mortality rate, which is unbelievable. So cardiovascular is important. I think anaerobic is important as well, again, to reduce atrophy of muscles. Like I just said, we're losing muscle every single year. So by getting that resistance training in, we're preventing that. We're staying healthy. You're getting body composition changes. If you have more muscle, all right, and again, not talking 15 to 20 pounds of more muscle, but the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to naturally burn throughout the day, all right, and the more body fat you can burn throughout the day as well, which is very, very nice. All right, so yes, it can help with mood. All right, we already see that it's powerful. All right, especially in acutely, you feel good right after the workout. So if you stick to it, all right, you can get more of those benefits. But make sure you speak with your medical practitioner. All right, make sure you speak to your medical practitioner about it. Okay, but we already know from numerous studies. I think there was a meta-analysis taking 19 studies where people who stopped exercising regularly experienced significant increases in symptoms of things like depression and anxiety. All right, and that's after a couple weeks. All right, a good article for that would be mental health consequences of exercise withdrawal. All right, and that was a systematic review. Like I said, I think it was a meta-analysis of 19 studies. So, withdrawal symptoms from not exercising. Okay, so we know that it can help because we see those withdrawal symptoms when we stop exercising, an increase in symptoms of depression and anxiety. I know for myself, I'm at my best when I'm staying working out consistently. I know my clients are at their best when they're working out consistently. It's tough. Like I said, you need accountability, and that's what this stream is for. If you have a friend, that's great. If you have to do it by yourself, that's fine too. All right. Just have to make sure you're sticking to it. Maybe just step by step, not jumping in thinking that you need to go every day. Start out with 3 days. All right. Start out with 1 day, really. Start out with 1 day, build from there. Now, there's got to be more people in the chat than just Zaid. It's great having Zaid in here, but if anyone else has any questions, again, now is your time to ask, guys. Now is your time to ask. Make use of these live streams. I know it can be tough for me to get on these days, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, especially when it comes to diet related for weight loss, exercise, beginning a routine. Like I said at the beginning, we just did a stream. Oh, what was our last stream on? I can't quite remember. Maybe heart health, maybe something to do with cognitive function. But I always find when it comes to weight loss and exercise, people are a lot less, I would say a lot less, they're just not, they just don't ask questions when it comes to this type of stuff, this type of discussion. All right, they're more hesitant, maybe is the best word to describe. All right, but we all start somewhere. All right, again, no judgment here. All right, I answer these questions every single day. There's no silly questions. All right, there's only questions that are going to help if you are trying to start, all right, especially with exercise and weight loss. All right, yes, it's great hearing about the benefits of blueberries. That's awesome. That's what this channel is built on. That's what this channel is all about. Hearing about the benefits of certain foods. Today we talked about sweet potatoes, or at least a video went up about sweet potatoes. Yesterday, cinnamon tea. Right? But what are the things that we can do to add on to improving our overall health? I think exercise is one of the best things that you can do. All right. I've mentioned this in a stream before. One of the best investments that you can make in your overall health or in your overall well-being over the next 10 years is going to be in the health, in improving your overall health, whether that is hiring a trainer, whether that is dealing with hiring a nutritionist. And I'm not saying that just because I am in this field. All right, go hire someone else if you want to, but investing in yourself and learning, all right, the proper techniques of exercise, the proper benefits of exercise, what program would be best for you, what exercises would be best for you. Right? It's not just going to the gym. It's, all right, how can we maximize going to the gym? What's going to be fun for you and what's going to keep you going back? I think that's going to be one of the biggest things, especially as we start to get older. Okay. I'm approaching 40. All right. So as I approach 40, all right, there's ways that I have to work out that I can't do things that I could do when I was 20. And I'm fine with that. I have to switch up my routine. All right, my routine now, all right, as I approach 40 is much different than when I was, 19, 20, 21. All right, and it just is what it is. Like Zaid, all right, if you have certain pains somewhere, all right, if you're dealing with, all right, let's say this degenerative disease, all right, anything along those lines. If you're dealing with shoulder injury, all right, there's certain things that you need to do, certain things that you need to switch up. All right, so learning, all right, if I can't do this exercise, what's a good replacement for that? All right, if I want to, if I need to train a certain amount, but I'm feeling pain or I'm feeling fatigued because my frequency is too high, right? How can I pull it back a little bit but still maintain the benefits that I was, reaching at 5 times a week? Maybe I might go 3 times a week. How can I maximize those 3 workouts without overtraining or without exacerbating any pain? Those are all very, very important things. And I think we need to know, all right, where to start, how we can continue, all right, and how we can maintain it. That's really the biggest thing. I see so many times, and I've told these stories before in multiple live streams, but I've dealt with clients where we would work for let's just say anywhere from 4 to 6 months, right? We were working together. We were training together. They were staying consistent, working with me maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I would always tell them, because, they would always sign up for a certain amount of time. My goal isn't, if they want to stay with me, great. I would love to work with someone lifelong. That's amazing. All right. And they're super dedicated to their health. All right. But let's just say, all right, they want 6 months. Well, that's fine too. Then my job, all right, is to get them into the best health that they can. All right. Teach them along the way, where after that 6 months, all right, they have a good idea of what they need to do to maintain. But here's the thing, they lose the accountability once we stop working together. I always tell them, once you start, if it's like a month before or at least a few weeks leading up to their last sessions, all right, the hardest thing for you, I need you to come in, all right, I need you to come in, or I need you to go to the gym and work out on your own, because once we're done seeing each other, it's going to be very, very tough for you to maintain. All right, very, very tough for you to maintain. All right, if you're only seeing me and working out, because 99% of individuals that I've worked with, all right, I could see, all right, now I have my own business, but I could see when I was working at other gyms, I could see when they would swipe in. And 99% of the time, maybe they would go one other time after we were done, but a lot of the times they would just never go back to the gym, and it was just because they did not have that accountability. A lot of my clients, 90% of it is accountability, guys. A lot of people would say to me, oh, I don't feel like working out. I wasn't feeling like working out today, Coach Nate. I really didn't want to come. They think that might hurt my feelings, but it's really one of the best compliments that they can give me, because if they weren't seeing me, if there wasn't that accountability, they would miss their workout completely. They just wouldn't go. And then once you miss once, you might miss twice, and then it's a free-for-all from there, all right? Because it just builds on each other. You let yourself off the hook 1 or 2 times, that goes into a week. 1 week turns into 2. 2 weeks turns into 2 months or more. Okay, so that accountability is huge, guys. Accountability is huge, so don't underestimate that. Take it day by day, right, when it comes to exercise. Right? Start out a smart way. Figure out what you like, just like with your diet. Figure out a diet that you like that you can maintain for the rest of your life. Right? Same thing with exercise. Try new things, because you might like something that you never thought that you would before. That's what I always tell people. Right? I have some people who are really, really into vascular training, some people who are really, really into weight training. And then we get them, or at least I get them, to try boxing. And they think, oh, well, I'd rather lift weights. I'd rather do things like squats. I'd rather do things like bench press, right? But then they start boxing, and we get into the cardiovascular workouts with boxing. Right? It's not the whole time, but, we split it up a little bit. And then they end up loving boxing, and they want to do a whole 1 hour of just a boxing class. They end up loving it more than they thought they ever would. All right, and boxing's fun. I got to tell you, fitness boxing, I'm not holding pads for any world champion boxers, but, just getting out there and doing something different, getting that cardiovascular up, all right, they end up loving it. So maybe you sign up for a class, maybe sign up with a trainer. It can be one-on-one. A lot of people are more comfortable starting with someone one-on-one, right? But finding things that you enjoy, maybe trying a couple new things. Okay, finding something that maybe you didn't think that you would like, but giving it a shot. Maybe you might end up loving it, and your health is only going to improve, and your body's just going to thank you. Well, we'll end there, guys. Zaid, thank you. Big shout out to you. All right, big shout out to you, Zaid. I have to say, for coming in. Thank you so much for. Sorry, there we go. Thank you so much for. Just had the trolls were coming in. The spam in there. Thank you, Zaid, for coming in. I appreciate you. Like I said, a lot of times, all right, and again, this isn't calling out anyone, but just something that I noticed on these sort of streams, like weight loss, Q&A, all right, talking about exercise. It's tough for people to ask questions. Might not know where to start, what type of questions to ask, but hopefully you were able to get some value out of some of the things that I pointed out, some of the benefits of exercise, some of the ways that you can start, just like, it is with diet, all right? And why we want to exercise, why exercise is important, why we should try to incorporate it, maybe not in our day-to-day life, but in our life in general, all right? Improving our overall health in the process. So thank you so much, guys. Like I said, I know I didn't give you much time, all right, much notification before I hopped on here, but this will be going up live. I appreciate all the support. Thank you for the thumbs up. I'm going to try to get on here. It won't be over the weekend. I'll be busy. I'll be working over the weekend. Hopefully next Wednesday. If not next Wednesday, we'll figure out a time before then, guys. But again, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hope that you took something out of this chat. Again, if we're not reaching our results, let's turn it up just a little bit. Let's try to find something that we enjoy. Let's try to see if we can do something, add something that can try to get us those benefits that we want to achieve. All right, our goals. All right, we got to always go back to our goals and then try to do something to obtain those goals. All right, so thank you so much, guys. Give that video a view today if you're interested in a good complex carbohydrate. Sweet potatoes went up. If you're interested in certain tea, cinnamon tea went up yesterday. I think very interesting videos that you guys might enjoy. Thank you so much again for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate you. Big shout out to all of you guys, and hopefully we will get on here sooner rather than later. So thank you, guys. Have a good rest of your day, and